Hello and welcome to the Youth Sports Show Season 9 today. My name is Edet Otu. I'm the host of the Youth Sports Show. And the Youth Sports Show is part of Testimunhas, a platform that we use to, to reach out to young people and get to help young people to navigate through the problems of life. And today I'm loaded with loaded with information for you, and I'm just ready for you to share something with you. Usually I sit here with other people to share ideas, but fortunately today I will be here, just me and myself, and we'll just, interact, and I will share a lot of information with you. So usually before I start, I jump straight into prayer, because that is the only way I know how to start. I believe in God. I believe He's going to help us today. Father, thank you so much for the Youth Sports Show today. I pray that your spirit will guide our presentation, or my presentation today, and you speak to us and give us understanding of what we have to learn today in Jesus' name. Give us a smooth transmission out there, and let my friends receive the best in Jesus' name. Amen. So thank you very much for joining us in the Youth Sports Show. Once again, my name is Edet Otu. I'm the host of the Youth Sports Show and also the host of Testimunhas. Check us on Facebook. You see us in Transformation Challenge, and as well on Facebook. And we are on YouTube, we are on Twitter, as well on Instagram. So mostly we do most of our work on Facebook, but I want to show you something very interesting. So stay put and watch this. I want to show to you, tell you more about what we do.
With a blurred vision for the future. Millions of people, especially the youth, live hopelessly with a blurred vision for the future. In the midst of this chaos comes a great light to brighten the pathway. This is Testimunhas, an organization that has transformed the lives of many youth through practical coaching by professionals. Amazingly, when the Earth's foundation was shaken by the coronavirus pandemic, Testimunhas became the pillar for young people to hold on to by birthing the Transformation Challenge and Mobile Power Challenge groups to offer free trainings to young people. From it also emerged other subgroups like Quest Writers, T-Library to redirect the thoughts of members. Testimunhas has become everything in one. The light, the pathway, the pillar, the transformer. Find us on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Join us today and share the testimony tomorrow. Testimunhas, witness transformation.
Thank you very much, and welcome back to the Youth Sports Show. My name is Edet Otu. I'm your host today, and I will be sharing with you doing much with little. And before we get into doing much with little, we usually in the Youth Sports Show we do other things, little bits there, and just to help us to to share with you other things that you may need, information that may help you throughout to reach your target faster than doing it alone. But first of all, I want to share with you our book review. Usually every week we review a book, and we read at the T Library, which is part of the Testimunhas. People read books and then they share chapters. And so I want to share the book that was read this week on the T Library platform on Facebook. And so the book for this review for this week is How Successful People Think. The book was written by John C. Maxwell. The book explains the essence of right thinking. That's the importance of thinking the right way. It shows the importance of good thoughts and deliberates the development of new mental habits. It emphasizes how one's thoughts can affect one's life, which means that the way you think determines how you're going to live your life. If you think wrong, you're actually going to live a wrong life. The book also teaches readers to be more creative and shows how to capture the picture with positive thoughts. So you can see your future through your eyes, the eyes of your mind. Finally, it tells readers to understand how to tap into their full potentials and develop shared ideas, derive lessons and past experiences, and as well, or derive lessons from past experiences and also understand the future. Interestingly, you cannot live in the future you did not picture. You've got to picture the future today before you can live in it tomorrow. Nothing happened by chance. Whoever that was successful, whoever that is successful started by seeing it. An architect drew a plan and saw the house in his mind and drew it out and gave it to the builder. The builder produced that house that the architect already completed constructing in his mind. And so the positive thinking is important to every successful life, to everyone that is out there that is planning to, to be successful. Then thank you so much for listening to that section. And next thing I always like to share again is a success story. It's always good not to walk alone. The Bible has already said that no one should be alone. It is not good for man to be alone. So for you to succeed in life, you don't have to walk alone. You need to just follow the path that other people have chosen. So you need to see what people have done already so you don't repeat mistakes that other people have made. So usually I share as well what I call the success stories. Success stories are special stories of people who have achieved little or great things in the world. Join me as I share with you a special success story. And when I saw this story, it was really interesting in my eyes when I read this story. And this story is titled Milton Hershey, the man who made the world a sweeter place. I was thinking when I saw this title, because this story is usually sent to me by one of our team members, and I said, okay, thank you so much for the stories you're sending it to us. And when I saw the title, I was, wow, how did we make the world a better place? Because we're seeing the terrible things going on in the world today. But anyway, so okay, thank you so much for sending this to us. Now look at what Hershey. Hershey was born on the September 13, 1953 at a farm situated near Ferry Church, a small Pennsylvania community, and he was the only surviving child of his parents, sadly. But like what happens to many children, especially back in Africa, where their parents die and leave their children without any big means of support. His studies were heavily interrupted due to parent frequent shifting. He failed and went bankrupt at the age of 30, and he failed again at his first candy business in 1876 in Philadelphia. After 6 years of consistent hard work, he failed once again in his second candy business venture in New York City. Despite all the failures and difficulty, he came back to Lancaster in 1866 and founded the Lancaster caramel company, where he found his outstanding success. He started shipping caramels throughout the world in 1893, and he got opportunity to drive into the world's chocolate using milk and chocolate instead of caramel alone. He sold his company for an amazing deal of $1 million. Then he acquired 1,200 acres of farmland where he manufactured the modern candy making facilities with the massive production. You see, by trial and error, by everything, all the failing and rising and disturbances, or the difficult situation that Hershey had, he gave us the chocolate today that people like. I know a lot of people like chocolate, like myself. I went to my dentist one day, and my dentist said, "You shouldn't eat chocolate again." And I was like, I don't eat a lot of chocolate, but sometimes when I'm not happy, I eat chocolate. When I'm not happy, people say they eat chocolate when they're happy. Mine is when I'm not happy, I eat chocolate. But it just permits me to eat a little of this chocolate because sometimes it's sweet. When I'm not happy, I eat the chocolate to make me feel better. Anyways, thank you very much for watching me today. This is a Youth Sports Show. It's a very exciting opportunity to be your host today. Once again, my name is Edet Otu. This is Youth Sports Show Season 9. I love you so much, and that's why every time I sit and I think of something very interesting that I think will be useful to you. But before I continue, I want to share something very interesting with you. Watch.
Welcome to Testimunhas. Our mission. We are set to transform the lives of millions of young people in the world by helping them to stay focused in the midst of chaos they may be facing. Our transformational avenues are practical coaching, skill acquisition, friendly mentoring, mindful redirection of thought. We run regular trainings via our social media handles. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. If you are a young person, we have thousands of trusted coaches and mentors from around the world who are ready to walk you through whatever stage of life you may be in right now. Be a part of the Youth Sports Show every Sunday by 7:30 p.m. on the Testimunhas Facebook page and the Transformation Challenge group. Join us today and witness the transformation that other young persons are talking about. Testimunhas, witness transformation.
Thank you and welcome back to the Youth Sports Show. My name is Edet Otu. I love speaking to young people, and that's why we came about Testimunhas. Testimunhas simply means witness, and in our case here, it's witness to transformation. And over the lockdown and the period in different countries, we hold in programs. We held a lockdown challenge, the mobile power challenge. We have been counseling young people from all over the world, from different countries, receiving phone calls and texts and asking questions. And this is just my life, and I just enjoy doing it. And then thereafter, we decided to start the Youth Sports Show. And Youth Sports Show is just a simple way of staying in touch with young people and fixing problems and trying to to provide solution through talks and reasoning and finding information that I think will be useful to young people out there. I love this Testimunhas family. I have a lot of people working with me in the background. I want to say thank you to everyone that is out there, the media team, the music, and everyone. People who are there to watch over our page, our YouTube pages, and as well all our team members. I want you to know that I'm not here alone. I may be the only one that you're seeing today because you can't show the faces of everyone. But very soon we're going to have a family, a place, a location where everybody, or you can see every one of us. But today I want to share something very interesting with you, which is something that I have already shared with the inner house of the Testimunhas family. However, I want to elaborate it and give you a different dimension to that little information I gave to them. I gave them an understanding about how to achieve much with little. So join me as I introduce to you this presentation, the main, or people call it the main presentation. So this is the main presentation, doing much with little. I've always imagined how can in a world that someone will tell me that I can do much with little. I wish I had this when I was a little younger. Maybe my life would be better. No, I have nothing at all to regret. I met a lot of young, great people who helped me through the journey. And that's why I'm out here speaking to young people today. But I believe that this training or this speech or this presentation will make great impact in your life if you listen to the end and watch and pay attention as well, and also learn from what I'm going to share with you today. Pay rapt attention, make sure that no internet or no disconnection as we are going on. And if you are disconnected, try to connect again or come back to watch it later, because we sometimes will make this video available to the public. Welcome to this epic presentation. You're probably watching this video because you are curious or doubtful of the title. And yeah, maybe you want to know more, or maybe you don't believe it, or somehow maybe you need more information, or you're looking for strategy to turn the little resources in your hands into something something amazing or something outstanding that the world can see so you can achieve your heart desires. Well, I do not promise all the answers in this presentation. I'm just a human, just one man, but I'm quite sure that there is a lot for you to gain from today's presentation if you just watch this video to the end. The question for us today, and you and myself, is this: is it actually possible for us to do much with little? So if you're watching me right now, I want you to make a comment right now and tell me, is it possible and how can we do it? If you have ideas, share it with me as this live broadcast is going on. So if you say no, that is not possible, I think you are right, because we can see a lot of people out there who were poor and they are still poor, and some of them have died poor because they could not do much with the little that they have. And as well, if you say yes, there are evidences to prove that it is possible for people to do much with the little that they have. And so the validity will be very strong because we have evidence to back it up. In science work with tests and evidence. So if you cannot produce evidence, then you cannot believe. Nobody will take it to be a fact. Fact works with evidence. So whether yes or no, it is a fact that people can move from little to much. In today's presentation, I will share with you proven ways to achieve little, to achieve much with to achieve a lot or more with the little that you have in your life. And then I will also back up my presentation today with history and a lot of people that that did the same. And again, I repeat, my name is Edet Otu, and just in case you don't forget. And then, what is little? And everyone is turning little to little to much. What is little? The word little means different things to different people. Little is where you are today. For me, I think I have my own little in my life. There are things I'm trying to do in my life. I haven't achieved everything yet. In my little lifespan, I have not achieved everything. And so I think as well for you, you may not have achieved everything that you're looking for as well. So if you haven't achieved everything that you're looking for, it means you're always looking forward to something. And if you're always looking forward to something, there will always be that opportunity for you, a need in your life that you are looking forward to, to achieve or to fulfill, or to fill that little gap in your life. So that's the need, that gap you're looking for. For some people, their needs can be measured by bank statements, some the state of their marriage, whether they are happy or not happy. Some people bank statement, whether they're bankrupt or in debt. And that's what the condition of health, whether someone is in the hospital, someone is sick, or someone, having one problem or the other. Maybe your little may be the country that you live in or the country that you are growing up. Maybe your country is not that wealthy or not that rich. For a poor boy in a poor community or in a poor neighborhood, his little may be low family finance, lacking access to education or insufficient food or lack of, accommodation. And some children sleep in the streets. In poor countries, they're like countries in Africa or in Asia. And you see people in abject poverty at this point because they've just got a little that cannot sustain them to live the life that they desire. For a parent, little may be poor performance of a child in education or children in education. It could be low income or lack of access to basic needs. The income, the family income is not enough to take care of the whole family. For an orphan, the little may be access to support of all kind. An orphan was lost both parents or having no support, no family, maybe no government support like in some places. That is a little life to live. And how can this life be changed into a bigger life? And for the person in business, a little may be poor business growth. Maybe a business is not making reasonable advancement that is expected of the business. Limited capital, unattractive business ideas, unattractive business locations. This could be the little that pushes or that brings a little the businessman to one corner of tears or disappointment or shame. We all have littles in our lives. I don't know what your own little may be, so don't be ashamed of your own little. No one is blessed with everything. We all have something we are lacking. The rich man in a big house may be lacking sleep, or maybe lacking having fear of security, but the poor man next door may be sleeping in front of his house because he's not afraid of anything. The problem is not about having a little. The challenge is turning what you have into what you desire. That is the biggest problem in life that has killed people or kept people awake or led people into crime. The question again is, what is much? What is much? Much in this presentation is used where people, it is used, to define what people hope to be or where people hope to be or what people hope to become or who people hope to become, where people long to be and how people want to be in the future. No one likes to be a toddler forever. However, we just all know that a lot of people don't like to get old. They don't want to grow old. We all are aspiring. So we all are aspiring, to trade what we have for what we desire. We all want to change. Christian talk about going to a better place like heaven. The businessman talks about business expansion. A family thinks about getting bigger houses. Therefore, much means many things to many people. For the government, it could be expansion of territories, it could be expansion of science and technology. For an older person or a patient in the hospital, much may be enough time, more time to live. For an inmate in the prison, much may be needed freedom to leave these walls that have kept them bound or him or her bound for years. That could be the much that such a person, the inmate, is looking for. For the students in college or university, much may be academic success or maybe finances. For the expectant family who is looking for children, much maybe children, maybe looking for a different sex of a child. For the troubled home, much may be the peace and the love that they expect to come into their home. At whatever stage you may be right now, I know that you are looking for more. You are definitely scouting for opportunity to look for more. more money, more privilege, bigger house, bigger apartment, bigger shoes, bigger TV, bigger everything. But it is not a crime to look for more. However, there are many business theories and principles that have come up with postulations like, why people should have more, why people shouldn't have more, how to have more, how not to have more, and people how to talk about minimalism and the rest of them. I don't have any problem with minimalism, or not. Do I have a problem with any theory of having much? I believe in much because when you have much to give out. However, today I'm not going to teach you theories, but I'm going to teach you something very interesting. I want to show you people and evidence and leave you to copy these people and copy this evidence. And then you will be on your way to achieve the success, the all needed success that you desire. Before I continue, I want to share something again with you, and I do hope that you will enjoy this with me.
Millions of people, especially the youth, live hopelessly with a blurred vision for the future. In the midst of this chaos comes a great light to brighten the pathway. This is Testimunhas, an organization that has transformed the lives of many youth through practical coaching by professionals. Amazingly, when the Earth's foundation was shaken by the coronavirus pandemic, Testimunhas became the pillar for young people to hold on to by birthing the Transformation Challenge and Mobile Power Challenge groups to offer free trainings to young people. From it also emerged other subgroups like question writers, tea library to redirect the thoughts of members. Testimunhas has become everything in one: the light, the pathway, the pillar, the transformer. Find us on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Join us today and share the testimony tomorrow. Testimunhas, witness transformation.
Thank you, Day, and welcome back to the presentation. So, as we were, ongoing, we were discussing, we're talking about doing much with little. So, we have already told you already what little means and what much means. But at this point, I want to share with you the stories or history of people who achieved much with the little that they had. The first name I have here is Louis Braille. Louis Braille. Louis Braille was lived between the 1906 and 1953, 52 rather. He lived between 1809 and 1852. He was a French educator and inventor of a system of reading and writing for use by the blind or visually impaired. His system remained virtually unchanged to this day, and it is known worldwide simply as Braille. Blinded in both eyes as a result of early childhood accident, Louis Braille mastered his disability while still a boy. He excelled in education and received scholarship to France Royal Institute for Blind Youth. While still a student there, he began developing a system of tactile coding that could allow blind people to read and write quickly and efficiently. Inspired by the military cryptography of the Charles Babbage, Braille constructed a new method built specifically for the need of the blind. You can imagine that this young man had blindness, and everybody will be, in sorrow, pitying him, looking for a way to drop money in his plate. But he didn't go to the street to beg. He had opportunity of education. Praise God for the time that he lived in and the people that were around him. He got the support that he had, and with that, he turned the little thought that he had. He had no eyes, but he had hands. He had other parts of the body that were functioning apart from his eyes. And then it is something outstanding to today. Braille has not changed much from what it was originally invented to be. And that is what we are talking about today. If he did it, we too can do it. Second name I want to mention here is Steve Jobs. When we talk about the tech industry, we could talk about people like, Bill Gates, we talk about Mark Zuckerberg, we talk about other names as well. But there is a name that stands out in the tech industry, and that is Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple. Job and Steve Wozniak created the first successful personal computer over the years and helped introduce numerous revolutionary products such as the iPod, iPad, and the rest of them. So as we see today, Job, as we've read as well, we all know Job did not have a lot of education. He had only 6 months of education. And incidentally, he was adopted and he had other issues. He was given up for adoption. He went through all the hell. He left home, as he said in his own story. He had to learn, again. He went to he attended the street school. He didn't have the normal education that every other person had. But today, Apple is a brand. Whenever you see that Apple image with one bite, you know that there was a man that passed through this world. Despite all that he went through, despite all his circumstances, he went up and he did a lot with the little opportunity that he had. I want to share someone else with you, and that name is Henry Ford. Henry Ford as well. Henry Ford had a limited formal education. He was with his family, they were around in Detroit, and then it was always, his father would have believed that maybe after he's dead that Henry would take over the farm, but no, that was not what happened. Ford left home at the age of 17 and became an apprentice with a machinist in Detroit, a career path that ultimately transformed his life and the entire city, and to becoming the widely rich and successful industrialist. Despite having little to no education, Ford created a mechanized assembly line, and it wasn't long before Detroit gained the nickname of the Motor City because of the incredible work of this man, Henry Ford. It is possible. See, when we read stories like this, we were thinking that how did they do it? They all felt the same way. They would have had discouragement at some time. They would have, trouble at some time. They would have had that opportunity or that time where they didn't know what to do again. They would have experienced that pain, but they kept pushing and doing it, whatever they could do with whatever that they had at that time. The next name I want to talk about, and that will be the last name I'm going to present to you, is Fanny Crosby. Every Christian singer or every good Christian will know the name Fanny Crosby. She lived between 1820 and 1915. And more commonly known as Fanny Crosby, she is an American mission worker, a poet, and as well a lyric and a composer. At age 6 weeks old, Fanny Crosby caught cold, developed inflammation of the eye, and that was it. She was blind. She was one of the most prolific hymnists in history, writing more than 8,000 hymns and gospel songs. As to today, I don't know how many gospel people with 2 eyes have written this number. I don't know. With more than 100 million copies printed, despite being blind from shortly after birth. She was a teacher. She joined the rescue mission. By the end of the 19th century, she was a household name. Besides that, she was a committed Christian. So she didn't allow her limitation, her disability, to hinder her from becoming that very person that God created her to be. Praise God for the life of these great people. And if they were able to turn the little thing that they had in their days to great substances that brought them to people, to place of recognition, to places of privileges, then we too can do same. Maybe you are a young person out there, you're wondering, oh, I wish I had a great father. I wish I was born in a rich family. I wish I had this. I wish I had that. I would have become this. I tell you the truth, you can still do more than what you are doing now. Myself, as I've said here, I've told you this story. Sometimes people want to see, are you just telling us theories on everything? I'm not that great. Anyways, I have not bought the land in the US or the UK or anywhere. I haven't done that big thing. But I know where my passion is and my lives God is using me to transform. The true story about me today is that I was literally selling in the street some years back. I sold in the streets of Nigeria until I was 20 years old. Today, I've got my PhD from the University of Sheffield. I won 3 scholarships in a row, and I am just enjoying my life as God provides for me. That little idea of back then when I was selling the street, I was saving money up for my next exam, saving money up for my next exam. I had just, the only thing I know I had that time was passion. I didn't have the money. I had to go and sell in the street. I literally walk on almost all the streets in my city to hawk my goods. Today, I'm happy. God will not let me return back to the street, but because there are already things that are in place by God's grace that may never in any way take me back to selling in the streets. I'm not that stupid, and God will not let that happen. But for you, I don't know what situation you may be right now, but join me as I tell you more about turning your little into much. The popular law of motion by Isaac Newton states that a body of mass will remain at a state of rest until the force is applied to it, and therefore nothing will change until someone decides to do something about it. Therefore, you must be involved in the process of your transformation. Don't leave your transformation in the hands of your pastor, in the hands of your friends, in the hands of other people. You have to be involved so that you can guide the hands that is fashioning your future into what it has to be. I don't know if that makes sense. I'll repeat myself. You have to be involved in the process of your transformation, because if you're not involved, they will hand you a future that you will not want to believe in. And for you to be involved in this, first is that I want to be clear that it will require a lot of hard work, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of investment, a lot of days of crying, a lot of days of asking questions, a lot of days of confusion, a lot of days of misunderstanding, a lot of days of reading, a lot of days of waking up and going out and running before everybody and sleeping late, sleeping after everyone has slept, and then waking up before everyone. It will require that. I tell you the truth. It will require reading longer hours. It will require studying more. It will require doing things that you will not have done on a normal basis. It just requires going beyond the natural limits of your life. There is no overnight success. If there is any overnight success, it means that you would have agreed with God for a predetermined breakthrough, which you would have maybe prayed and got it right. There is no substitute for hard work. If you ever find success that does not require hard work, I want you to run away from it, because it's a scam, or there is something hiding behind it to consume you and your soul. Remember, the Bible said that what shall it profit a man if he trades his soul for the whole world? So if you want to win a gold medal in an Olympic race, you have to run faster than the fastest Olympian in that your team, in that your track, in that your group. That implies that you have to train more than the person that won the trophy or that won the medal a year before you. You have to do much more. And when it's time to run, you have to run faster than that person. Else, you will not get the crown. And secondly, give your time to the things that pass through your hands. Give your time to it. The Bible says in Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 10, whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might, for there is no work, no device, no knowledge, no wisdom in the grave whither thou goest. So give your best to everything. Use what you have been given. Don't bury your talents. In Matthew chapter 25, verse 4 to 30, someone buried his talent because he thought it was very small, and he was punished for lack of resourcefulness. Are you resourceful? Are you using that your little talent you've been given? You're not a very great singer, but are you working on that little, voice that you have? You're not a great painter. Are you working on your painting skills? You don't have a lot of education. Maybe you may not be a first-class student, but you have a little knowledge. You can do something about it. Work on yourself. I remember one day when I was in school, I had this guy that was very smart with mathematics. This guy used to, outshine me, mock me in the class. He did everything. But you know what I did one day? I vowed that I will never sleep on my bed at night until I've solved a problem correctly in mathematics. In a few months' time, I started competing with him in the class. He was always winning, but one day I overtook him. I brought a very difficult problem. I solved it all out. He could not solve it. Next day, I did the same thing. I silenced him. From that day, he never brought me into challenge with him. I became the leading mathematics a student in my group, and I was teaching people mathematics. It was born out of a challenge and a limitation that I had at that time because I could not do much. There is no substitute for hard work and resourcefulness. Do what you can with what you have. No matter what life hands you, seek ways to utilize it. Thirdly, be obsessed with what you have. A little knowledge, a little beauty, a little life you have, be obsessed with it. Study it, try it, think outside the box, think inside the box, think beside the box. Go out and ask people, read about people who were in that your situation. Be proud of it, be proud of your life, be thankful, appreciate God, and don't be ashamed of your life when you see other people with big opportunities than yourself. And the best way to do it is to talk about it. Be proud of yourself. Remember those days I used to stand and talk. People started saying I was so ambitious. I used to talk big. And sometimes it puts me into trouble. But the truth is that most of everything I used to talk about that time, they all came to pass. And when they all came to pass, people were telling me, said, look, you were right. The Bible says in Proverbs chapter 22, verse 29, says, thou a man diligent in his business, he shall stand before kings, he shall not stand before mean men. So you have to be diligent. Take your time and make sure that whatever you produce is the best that you will ever produce. And so if anybody sees it, they will be proud of you and what you have produced. Fourthly, let it consume your thoughts and your effort. Allow it to overwhelm you. In your sleep, in your thinking, in your rest, think about it. Dream. I don't mean the negative thoughts. I don't mean worrying over it. I mean, think, imagine it. Imagine how it can go bigger. Imagine, talk about it, write story about it. Give it much time anyways. Give more time to the little areas of your life. Time is the greatest currency in life. Any little thing can become much if you give it the required amount of time. People who want to grow happy relationships should give it more time. Students who want to be succeeding in school should give their studies more time. People who want to expand in business should give their businesses more time. More right time, right time, and wisdom and no studying. Give more time, ask questions, research, sit down and think about it. And lastly, I want to tell you that to turn everything to God. Turn everything to God. I don't know if you believe in God, but if you don't, pardon me, maybe, I don't know, but just try it. Just try. There's no harm in trial. Try. If it doesn't work, you can check out. There's no strings attached. Try God. If God doesn't work, you can check out. There's no strings attached. But when you try God with all your heart. That's what I mean. Now, in 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 1 to 58, David killed Goliath with a sling and a stone. Goliath of Gath was not a dog. He was not a bird. He was a military man from his youth, tall, huge, with shield and armor. Was only God. It was only God that did that. It was not the stone of David that killed Goliath. It was God. In Judges chapter 15, verse 14 to 16, Samson killed 1,000 soldiers with a jawbone of an ass. It was only God, no man. Imagine that you take an ordinary bone to fight 1,000 soldiers. You didn't just fight them and escape. You kill 1,000. That was a massive achievement. In Exodus chapter 14, verse 21, Moses divided the Red Sea and walked through dry land with his walking stick. What was in that walking stick except the power of God? Only God can do such miracles. Elisha brought down the abundance of supply of food within 24 hours after years of siege in the land of Samaria. And 2 Kings chapter 7, verse 1 to 16. Jesus fed 5,000 men, that's beside the women and children, with 5 loaves of bread and 2 fishes in Matthew chapter 14, verse 13 to 21. There is nothing God cannot do. There is absolutely nothing. So if you turn it into the hands of God and tell God, look, I have this little thing, I want you to grow it for me with all your heart. A little marriage, a little relationship, a little knowledge of academics, a problem, whatever circumstance or situation you may be, I say, turn it to God. In conclusion, I want you to know that you can accomplish greater or great things with what you have if you act with a consciousness that God is with you. You can do more with what you have. What will even cost you if you try handing it over to God? What will be the ultimate cost? It costs you nothing. It could even not even saying pay money. Just try and see if you will do something. I know some of you are afraid and say, oh, if I want to do this, God will take care of God will take my life. Already your employer is taking your life. Trust me, your employer takes most of your time. But how much is he paying you? But God is simply saying, I'm going to give you everything. I'm going to make your life better. I'm going to change things. Your employer can only give you a paycheck. He can't change any other part of your life. And so you need God. Don't despise the days of small beginning. Never you look down on yourself. Never you despise your looks. Don't despise you. Even whatever that happens around you, or even when other people try to despise you, don't despise yourself. That is in Zechariah chapter 4, verse 10. Don't despise the days of small beginning. In Job chapter 8, verse 7, say, though your beginning was small, yet your latter end would greatly increase. And this is my parting words for you. I said, hope in God. Have hope that whatever you have will increase. And I want to leave you with this. Don't hurt what you have. Give from that little you have. So use that little you have to sow in the lives of people. Give it to people. The little money you have, try to give to people. Scatter your seed abroad and give it to people. Share things with people. Share your time with people. Bless people with whatever you have. And you see it will multiply. Remember, the seed that you have in the barn will never yield, will never cause yield or harvest. It is the one that you put in the ground and forget about it that will bring you much yield. So this is where I bring the presentation to a close. I want you to trust in God. Put all your trust in God. Put all your dependence in God. Put all your time in God and allow God to help you go through that challenge or that difficult situation that you may be facing in your life. It may not be quite easy with you right now. Things will not work the way you expected. But your trust in God will help you to go extra mile. Doing much with little, I want you to put all your trust in God. God will help you get there in Jesus. And I want to pray for you. And Father, thank you for my beloved friends today, my young people or parents who are listening to me today. And Lord, I pray that you help them to work hard. You help them, Lord, to put their trust in you, to love, to desire, to think, to read, to research, to do more than what they normally do in the name of Jesus. I say, look up to you. I say, try looking up to you. You help them out in Jesus' name. Thank you so much for being there with me today. I don't know if you are there and you want to try God, just try God. Return to God and confess your sin to Him, and God is always ready to have you back. You are always His child. And before I say goodbye to you today, I want to thank you so much for making your time. I really value the time that you have to watch this video. I want to check us out on YouTube and also like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have other presentations in other places that we have there in the YouTube channel as well. I wanted to invite your friends to join us every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. I'll be right here with myself and other speakers, and then we will share with you exciting and informative sessions that your life will be changed. And before I say goodbye, I want you to just see this with me, and then we will say goodbye.
Welcome to Testimunhas. Our mission. We are set to transform the lives of millions of young people in the world by helping them to stay focused in the midst of chaos they may be facing. Our transformational avenues are practical coaching, skill acquisition, friendly mentoring, mindful redirection of thought. We run regular trainings via our social media handles. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. If you are a young person, we have thousands of trusted coaches and mentors from around the world who are ready to walk you through whatever stage of life you may be in right now. Be a part of the Youth Spot Show every Sunday by 7:30 p.m. on the Testimunhas Facebook page and the Transformation Challenge group. Join us today and witness the transformation that other young persons are talking about. Testimunhas, witness transformation.
Thank you so much for joining Youth Sports Show today, Sunday. And thank you so much for joining us every Sunday, 7:30 p.m. Join the Youth Sports Show on the Transformation Challenge page, as well as the Testimunhas page. Thank you so much, and God really bless you. See you next Sunday, 7:30 p.m. My name is Edet Otu. I love you so much. Thank you. Bye for now.